One of the biggest mistakes I see new authors make is that they just release their book quietly on Amazon with no real plan as to how they will release it. If you want your book to be a successful book on Amazon, you really need a lot of attention right at the beginning on the very first day it launches. And the best way to get that is with a launch team. Now, when you're selling books on Amazon, it's very important to attract a lot of attention right at the beginning. I mentioned first day. First day is extremely important. Also, the first week or two is important. And what you want to see is a lot of clicks on your book. You want a lot of buyers as well as a lot of reviews. And if you're just releasing your book quietly without really telling anybody about it, or even just letting people know beforehand that it's coming, you're going to miss out on those clicks and purchases and reviews from the very beginning. And then it becomes a tough uphill climb to have a successful launch as well as a successful book. When you first launch your book on Amazon, it's important that, like I said, you get those clicks, you get those purchases, you get those reviews. Some people say that within the first week or two, if you can get 20 to 30 reviews, that really starts to help the algorithm on Amazon. And Amazon begins to put your book in front of other prospective buyers based on the keywords that you've used in your metadata. And so it's very important that you start to get those reviews early so that it can start seeing what audience is attracted to your book and start putting it in front of them. Other people say, you want to have as many as 50 reviews eventually, because a lot of buyers want to see that many reviews for a book before they'll actually purchase it. So as many reviews as you can get from the very beginning will be very helpful for your audience and for selling the book down the road. So it's so important to have a launch team in place for your book before you release the book on Amazon. Now, I like to call this launch team a hype team. I don't know if you're familiar with the term hype man. So I grew up listening to Christian music of all genres, but one genre that I really appreciated actually was rap. And I do not fit that stereotype at all, but I really enjoy Christian rap, which honestly, back in the early 90s and mid 90s, it wasn't too great, but I still liked it. And one thing that I learned about rap is that you have the main performer, and then you also have their backup, which is called the hype man. And the hype man has two responsibilities. First of all, the hype man gets the crowd excited and hyped up and ready for the performance. And then the second responsibility of the hype man is to step in when the main performer needs to take a breather. Obviously, they're rapping, they're giving out these lyrics at such a high speed, and sometimes they just need to take a break and breathe. And that's when the hype man steps in and, starts their own performance, or, starts injecting into the song their own pieces. And so obviously I'm not a rapper. I don't exactly know how that all works, but these two responsibilities of the hype man are very important for the rapper. It's also very important for you as an author. You want a hype man. In fact, you don't want just one hype man. You want a whole hype team, better known as the launch team. And those responsibilities for you are exactly the same. You want your launch team, or your hype team, as I like to call it, to help you get the audience excited about your book, to hype it up before the launch. You want to get them involved in letting your audience know about your book and what's so important about your book, and the benefits of the book, and how much your audience is really going to enjoy it. And so your launch team will help you do that. And when you are launching a book, it can be overwhelming for an author. There's a lot you have to do, both technologically as well as, getting the word out to your audience, and just so many different pieces that have to fall into place. So when that happens and you just need a break, you need a breather, that's really when you need to be able to rely on your hype team to continue the work for you, to continue to build that excitement for your book and get people excited. So those are the two main responsibilities of your launch team. And there are many ways that you can help them do that. You need to be able to help them. You need to be able to give them the tools they need to help you well, and to encourage and incite them to continue doing that. So there's many different ways you can do that. You can offer incentives. You can, have contests. You can offer them an affiliate link to maybe get some rewards based on how many buyers they bring into your audience. There's so many different ways that you can help them. But generally speaking, the purpose of the launch team is to get your audience excited and to step in when you just need that break. To just give you a quick example, my very first book, Ada and the Helpers, I was very diligent, and I knew that I needed that launch team, and I had a decent launch team in place, and that book was successful at launch, and it has continued to be successful. But to be quite honest, the book that came out after that, Never Ever Build a Blanket Fort, is a really great book, but I did not put as much effort into the launch as I should have. I didn't really build the launch team like I should have. And because of that, that book has really suffered. It doesn't generate as many sales on Amazon, not nearly as many as Ada and the Helpers. Now, to be quite honest with you, that second book does really well in person. I'm able to promote it to my audience and get them excited about it in person, and it can actually sell better than Ada and the Helpers sometimes. But as far as online sales and on Amazon, it's suffered because, and I honestly believe it's because of my lack of building the launch team well and promoting it, marketing it with that team from the very beginning. Now, I'm about to release my brand new book, The Indie Author's Dozen. I know I've been saying that for months now, but it is finally almost ready to release, and I want to invite you onto my hype team. This book, The Indie Author's Dozen, is for the children's book author who is working on their first book and they just don't quite understand the process of self-publishing. If you want a successful book, you need a self-publishing team in place, a team that you can trust. And so this book not only gives you the step-by-step process of publishing your book, but it also helps you understand who should be on your team that you can trust and that will champion you and help you along the way. One member of that team is the hype man, or the hype team, as I call it. And there's a chapter completely devoted to that person, that team, within the dozen, the Indie Authors Dozen. And so if you'd like to be on my launch team for the Indie Authors Dozen, you can go to indieauthorsdozen.com. You'll get access to the very first chapter in the book. Now, it is a raw chapter. It's not edited, but you can get a little glimpse of what the book is about, and you'll be added to my launch team for when it does launch very, very soon. I can't wait to show you more about the book and get it out there in the world. So I would really appreciate if you would join my launch team. If you're a children's book author and you enjoy this kind of content, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Very few people who watch my videos are actually subscribed to my channel, and I would love to grow my channel to really help self-publishing children's book authors. So if that's you, please subscribe and enjoy the content that I make available to help you be a more successful author. My job, my mission is to help you find confidence, gain clarity, and achieve success in your children's book. So let's do that together. Thanks for watching.